Rosselli Northern supports upstate New York construction with over 400 employees, 250 trucks, 9 ready-mix plants, 4 blacktop plants, and 40 aggregate mines. But their most important number is your bottom line. Contact them today to see why Rosselli Northern has been the choice for contractors and project managers across upstate New York since 1929.
FL1.com. Paul Russo, Jim Sinicropi, and Kyle Evans here with you as always. Guys, college football, the main part of it, over. Pretty much full bore with NFL now. Unless you count bowl season, which I do, but I'm in the very much so minority of that. But
bowl season's for bettors.
Right. That's true. Yeah. Psychos out there. But pretty much we're full bore NFL now the rest of the way for the next few weeks.
Yeah, and we're getting to a big month, December, only 5 weeks left?
Yeah.
For most 4 or 5 weeks left. Teams, in some division races, like the Texans, believe it or not, have a chance to catch the Jags now with Lawrence going down, possibly not playing. The AFC, a couple AFC interesting things going on, I would say, especially in the wild card, too. You look at the Bengals. They're 6-6 tied with the Bills, and I guess both teams still have a chance.
Yeah. I like the Bills' chance. I've been thinking about that a lot. I know there's a lot of Bills fans that watch us, and I'm confident the Bills are going to be there in the end. Starting with a win, this week at Kansas City.
Yeah, it'd be nice, obviously, to get that, and I will table the rest of that for now, for me personally, anyway. So, with that in mind, I'll pull up our Week 13 bet card and results, and Jim and Kyle, you both able to take home the honors this week, tied at 2-1 for the week. How about it?
Yeah, my week didn't start too well. The over almost happened at halftime in the Dallas-Seattle game. Who would have thought Seattle would have played as well as they did against Dallas? But yeah, bounced back with a couple nice wins there.
Yeah, that was a that was a nutty game of a lot of shooting and everything there. Jim, I'm assuming you didn't. I'm assuming you didn't bet the mortgage anyway on the on your loss.
No,
right?
but it's one of those things as a bettor. Like of those 3 games, I liked all 3 picks and fairly comfortable. But that SMU Tulane game was one of those things that I would venture to call the lock of the year. That type of thing. One of those games where you're so confident and all the stats back you, and it really shakes me when I lose a bet like that. So, anyways, Tulane, they needed one more touchdown, and they had the ball late, and could have happened, but it didn't. But I thought it would be an easy cover, and it wasn't. And so, shame on me for being so confident, but still a profitable week, and onward and upward.
Yeah, and then I thought I was gonna hang. They did not. So, tough spot there. And
Iowa got throttled.
Yeah. And then, the Chiefs just, I mean, we talked a lot about them on Monday, enough as is a little bit, and we'll probably maybe discuss them at another point here within this podcast, but I just, the hell Chiefs.
Yeah,
Green Bay.
Who they playing in again? Oh,
Green Bay.
Yeah, that was one of those games that, everybody in America thought the Chiefs would at least get the win. Maybe not the -6, and it just exposed the Chiefs as not that Super Bowl caliber team that they've been in the past.
Yep.
Jordan Love's playing well, though. Give him credit.
Yeah, I saw at eating lunch, I saw ESPN apparently today decided to bust out the who will have more Super Bowls when they're done, Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love debate, and I just go, already, okay, neat. So we won't be doing that here. I do want to mention something. You brought up the bowl games, Jim, about the bettor's paradise, and I will go ahead and say this and go a little bit of a tip for everybody. It mainly has to do with, I think, the college playoff more than anything than the actual bowl games, but there's still major bowl games that, down the road. But pay attention to the lines of these college football playoff games already. For example, Michigan opened as, I believe it was 3-point favorite over Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The line's already creeping on down a little bit. And you have a lot of time here between now and those games on December 31st.
Like 3.5 weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you have plenty of opportunity here to, whether it's you can buy in on a certain alternative line, wait for the line to actually come to a point for where you want it, because odds are that's going to happen anyway.
But if you're confident,
Yeah.
if you like if you like a pick in that game in either one of those semifinal games, and you want to lock it in now, you could get a big bargain, and
Sure.
that would be the case if you took Alabama when it opened.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't really thought too much about those games. It's disheartening to see, a team like Florida State not get a chance to play for a national championship, and it's just stupid. It's like everything in college sports right now. It's just stupid.
Yeah, Florida State, and I've harped on this, I feel like a ton in the 5 days since, more or less. But they did what they had to do. And I do not like Florida State in the slightest. I'm one of the people that you'll come upon who I'm probably in the minority that finds Bobby Bowden to be a hair overrated for what he gets stacked up to be and stuff like that, and the whole entire lore of the Seminole and blah, blah, blah. But they went out and they literally did what you are supposed to do in sport, which is win every game.
Mm-hmm.
And to more or less say that the games don't matter, we're going to do what we want to do in the end anyway type deal, it's
Exactly it.
disheartening.
Yeah.
It really is disheartening.
Wins and losses should be the only thing that matters. You don't need to give people the eye test. You don't need a bunch of people on a committee to tell you who the best teams are. It's wins and losses. And you know what? They should have expanded this thing, prior to this year. You go back to last year, remember TCU
Yeah.
gets in, and, like Florida State this year is better than TCU was last year,
Yeah.
I think. It's just dumb. But whatever, there'll be big crowd audiences for those games on New Year's Eve, and we'll see who wins. But if I was Florida State and I won my bowl game against
Playing
Georgia,
yeah.
I would declare myself the national champion.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there. And I haven't been able to look today at much, but there was supposed to be a press conference today between Mike Norvell, the head coach for Florida State, and Kirby Smart for Georgia, that late last night that got canceled. And there's a lot of different rumors flying around about whether or not we'll even have Florida State playing in a bowl game period at this point.
Well, they might forego the bowl.
As a form of protest.
Well, I don't like that, because now
I
you're
agree
hurting your
with that.
program. You're not getting the practices. You're not giving the kids who earn that experience, and that will be probably one of the more interesting non-playoff bowl games.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there as it stands right now at 2:13 in the afternoon on this Thursday. Who knows? I mean, it remains to be seen there. You guys been involved in anything else? I know I've been kind of looking at the in-season tournament for the NBA and doing some stuff there for the week on, at least specifically Monday anyway and Tuesday, and they got the semifinals later on tonight for that. But I know FanDuel and DraftKings, I'm sure the other books too, they have a bunch of different promos out for that, whether it's profit boosts to no sweat bets to you name it. They are kind of throwing promos at it to see if anybody bites.
Yeah, I got no sweats for the NBA because I don't care at all. But I have been college basketball betting with mixed results this week. Not a great week, but hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Got Purdue Fort Wayne again last night.
Holla, the Macedons.
Yeah, and
So I'm assuming you saw, not to get completely off topic, what I'm pretty sure it was that game. The guy lost his shoe and made a block with the shoe in hand. It was
that's
ridiculous.
Seems like it's illegal. Should
yes.
be illegal. And then also get your futures bets in on the New York Yankees to win the World Series because they made a trade.
Hell yeah. Kyle, you were on that thing last night, man. I tell you what.
That was a good day to be a Yankee fan. Seems like it's been a few years since they've made a big splash in the offseason. You think about Garrett Cole in 2019. But other than that, they've just sat back, and it doesn't seem like they've been the New York Yankees. But then you go out and you get a superstar like this, makes it seem like they're back to being more serious. And, yeah, I think if they get some pitching, they're going to be a really good team.
Who's the outfielder they picked up, too? Grimshaw?
Trent Grisham and then
Grisham, yeah.
Alex Verdugo from the Red Sox.
Player. Yeah, good for the Yankees, but like any time a big name comes to New York, I don't get too excited because I've seen them all, careers take a downturn after coming to the Bronx. But
It'd be interesting.
Soto's young, 24.
Right. Yeah, you brought up a good point, though, about futures bets because the Yankees went from 8th best odds to 3rd best odds in the span of about half an hour last
And
night.
I don't think that he can have that big of an impact. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think one player can have that big of an impact to
Yeah, what
change
was
the
it?
future.
Plus 1,300 to plus 800, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think he's going to make a big difference, but I still think pitching is a huge
Right,
thing in
many
this league.
pitchers.
If you don't have pitching, you can't just win every game, with offense. So pitching is a big priority, I think, next. So we'll see if they keep spending and trading pieces to upgrade the team.
And what are the chances that Judge stays healthy and
Stanton.
you can almost
Rizzo.
guarantee they're going to miss time at some point next year.
Somebody's already labeled Giancarlo as Giancargon by the end of this year for the Yankees, so
But anyways,
I don't know.
enough of the hot stove.
Right.
Yep.
Yamamoto, though. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess with that in mind, I got nothing else. Like I said, it's pretty much just an NFL week, but there are a couple college games floating around if you can kind of find them. The FCS, formerly 1AA, has their quarterfinal weekend, apologize with that. And I know FanDuel has markets on it. DraftKings doesn't, at least at the moment. But, if you really want to get, I guess, frisky, there are numbers out there if you want to get involved in that. And then obviously, at least with us in New York, there's one FCS game you wouldn't be able to bet because of Albany being in it. But the major FBS game of the weekend is Army-Navy. You can't bet that in New York, obviously, but that's always the biggest one. But outside of that, we're full-bore NFL now for the next few weeks. That will be the mainstay of football, and it's crunch time. Kyle, you mentioned it, right? Playoff stuff like that. We were talking about the Chiefs are letting us bettors down everywhere, but there's plenty of stuff to be had out there still. So you guys went 2 for 1 for the week. I'll let you guys rock, paper, scissors, shoot to see who gets
Hey, you can
first
take
dibs at picks. So,
All
all
right,
right,
I'll go.
Jim, all you.
Tough week.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's so much data now from the season that the odds makers are getting pretty good. But I do have I have an opinion on a lot of the games, and the top 3 that I decided to go with were first of all the Jaguars catching 3.5 at the Browns. To me, that game's like a pick. So I'm going to take the points in the Jaguars, regardless of who lines up behind center for their quarterback. The Browns are going to struggle to score points, and I think it's a big game for both teams. But with 3.5 points, I'll take the Jaguars. I'm also going with the over in the Lions at Bears game, 43.5. It opened at 41.5, which I grabbed it then. Just that line movement shows that there's going to be some points scored in this game. I don't usually love overs in individual games, but this one's an exception. The Lions have a 4th-ranked offense. They're going against the 30th-ranked defense of the Bears. The Lions' defense is not that good either. So, barring bad weather, there should be putting up some points there. And then this is my favorite pick of the week. I got the Broncos. For some reason, 2.5-point underdogs at the Chargers, the same Chargers team that put up 6 points against New England. I mean, come on. And the Broncos had been the hottest team in football. They battled the Texans but couldn't make a play at the end of the game, and barely lost that game. And that was with Russell Wilson throwing 3 interceptions. And then, of course, the Chargers last week broke a 3-game losing streak in uninspiring fashion, winning 6-0 over the Patriots. And now they're 5-7, still technically in the playoff hunt, but with the Bills and Chiefs on their schedule, probably not. I think the Broncos have a little more to play for here. And the Chargers, honestly, for, having Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler and, the Chargers of last year, they lack the firepower on offense this year, and their defense is not great. So throw into the fact that the Broncos are easily the better coach team, and I like the Broncos getting 2.5 points. I would have liked the Broncos if they were given 2.5.
All right, Kyle.
Well, I'm going to roll with the Lions again. -3.5 at the Bears. I know the Bears have been playing better. I know last time they met, the Bears had a 12-point lead late in the fourth quarter, and the Lions came back to win that game. But I'm just feeling the Lions win this game. So give me 3.5 there. And then my pick, I do believe this is going to hit. The Bills, +1.5 at KC. I just don't think the Chiefs are in a good spot offensively. I like the way the Bills' offense has been playing. So, yeah, give me the Bills there.
I like it.
And then my final pick, I'm going to go to one of the Monday night games because remember, there's 2 this week. And I'm going to take the Packers -6.5 against the Giants. I think Jordan Love has been playing very well, and I'm just not a big fan of the Giants' offense with Tommy DeVito running it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I like the Giants +6.5 and under 36.5 in that one. If I do anything, I think it's one of those games where, there's a lot of hype on the Packers now after the way they looked against the Chiefs, but we've already talked about how terrible the Chiefs' defense is with their injuries, and so I just the Giants are coming off a bye, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers just destroy them because the Giants are terrible, but I got a feeling that the Giants are going to keep that one low scoring and close.
all right, so Kyle, I will propose to you, because I also have the Lions as one of my picks. But I'm at -3. I was able to find them without that half point in there. Would you like to have it as a flat 3 instead of 3.5?
Yeah, I'll do that.
You got it then.
Yeah, well, I think I did look last night. Maybe it was -3 last night. But then I went back today and it was 3.5. Yeah, so I'll take the -3.
All right, there you go. So I just spoiled one of my picks, but yeah, I'm doing Lions -3 as well. Just, I don't know, nobody's out for them, right? Like, I'm not missing something here. Like,
Yeah, the same team they were in the first half of the season, and the Bears have been playing good. It's on the road. It's a divisional game.
And it's probably because of the first matchup, too, where the Bears had a late lead, double-digit lead, and lost. Played them tough in Detroit. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you first look at it and you're like, oh, of course the Lions will beat the Bears. And then you look a little closer and you're like, I don't know. And, Justin Fields is playing for his job, actually, with, the Bears are going to have the #1 pick no matter what because Carolina, they traded from Carolina. Right. So it's not like they're tanking or anything. And Fields is, like, going to be off his rookie contract. And I think he's motivated. But the Lions, we were talking about Super Bowl, a month ago.
Right.
And so who knows what's going to happen, but divisional game on the road should probably be close. But I do think that there's going to be some scoring.
Lions had trouble with the Saints last week. Remember that? They barely covered.
Surprising. I lost money on the Lions the past few weeks just because of that same thing, viewing them as being this legitimate Super Bowl contending team that it appears that they're actually not.
Yeah. So I have to unfortunately do the Mortal Kombat fight music here on this one with you, Jim. I'm doing the Browns -3.
Joe Flacco.
Flacco looked good, and it's in Cleveland. I don't see it as a pick. I just not knock on C.J. Beathard, but I mean he also ended up getting dinged up at the end of that game when he came in for
limited
Trevor
yesterday.
Lawrence. So I'm gonna go with the Browns -3 on this one. We'll have the Fight Club music.
Like I say, that's fine because I view it as a pick, so I'm taking the points. But you're gonna 3.5, right?
Nope, flat 3.
Oh well, then you got to give me the flat 3. Or no, I want 3.5. I want 3. It was DraftKings at 3.5 like an hour ago.
Oh, well, you can have the 3.5. I don't mind that.
Okay, well that's what I got.
Everybody can eat there.
Yeah, it is at 3.5 right now.
So
yeah,
there you go. It's 3.5.
Where did you get that line?
3.5 now in the
Where'd
pack.
you get your line from?
FanDuel.
That's a good example of why you need to have counts at 2 different sports books.
Right.
And I don't because it's just too much to manage. But that's a perfect example of why. Because if you're going to bet that game and you wanted it, like in my case, I would bet take the 3.5 and the Jags on DraftKings. But if I liked Cleveland, I'd be stupid not to hop over to FanDuel and get rid of that extra half point.
Mm-hmm. And then my last one, I did go with one college game this week.
Army-Navy?
Army-Navy. And although you can't technically bet it within the state, I cannot, in good conscience, not do something here.
Taking the under?
I'm taking Navy +3.
Oh, wow.
I've always taken Navy +3 because of my one grandpa, even though the other grandpa was in the Army, but I've always just felt more connected to the Navy side of the fight. So we're going Navy, beat Army Saturday.
3 points?
3 points.
What's the over-under?
27.
Wow. Jeez. What's amazing to that is that there's NFL lines this week that are like 30.
Yep. Yeah. Now, which one's 30 this week? Is it
Patriots
tonight?
Steelers.
Yeah. So,
And I am betting that game as I do most primetime games just for entertainment purposes. And I teased the Patriots are +6, but I teased it up to 8.5, and then I teased the under to 3.5 or 33.5, and I parlayed them together. It pays like +130. We'll see what happens.
nothing wrong with a little action.
The real loser is
you know.
Amazon.
Yeah. So, okay, hold on. That reminds me. Again, I don't want to get off topic here, but this is potentially crucial if you want to watch the game. I don't have Amazon Prime for video. I don't have that portion of it. Kyle, I know you do, right?
Yep.
Jim, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So did you know that if you don't even have Amazon Prime for like shopping and stuff, you can still access and watch the game for free? Amazon has like a Twitch channel, I guess, and you can watch the game for free on
I
Twitch.
do know that.
I guess it's been a thing at the start of the year, but I didn't know it until last week. And I was just like watching on my phone. I'm like, this is like,
It seems crazy with
Yeah,
like, the rights deals
right.
and everything that they would, but that must be part of the contract.
Well, I think if you don't subscribe to the Twitch channel, ads will randomly pop up in the middle of the game.
yeah.
So they kind of force you to still spend, I think, $3.99 maybe.
The ads weren't egregious. They didn't pop up randomly during the game. It happened during like the commercial breaks, but not actually during the game though.
You ever watch the Thursday night games with Next Gen Stats? They give you that option.
I haven't, but I have heard about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Maybe I'll try that tonight.
I mean, if you're fantasy football, you got guys playing fantasy football. In my league, we have defensive players. It's great because, they'll actually highlight them and show you who's on the field before the snap. And there's just a lot of cool graphics. And it's usually a more panned out view, so it's a different perspective watching the game. The one thing I don't like about it, and the reason I stopped watching it, was because they have another guy who comes on and talks over the announcing crew. Every now and then, he'll come up with some next-gen stat that he needs to share, and it's annoying because I'll be listening to the regular broadcast crew, and they'll be in the middle of a story or whatever, and immediately this other guy just comes in.
So Kyle, you definitely will not know this reference. So it's like pop-up video, but with an actual voice saying like the facts and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much as it would pop up on VH1 during pop-up video, but it does happen at some inopportune times, and I've been frustrated by it enough where I don't watch that broadcast anymore.
I don't blame you there.
I wonder how many people do go to that broadcast. I mean, it can't be a lot, but
No,
maybe
because
it
it's
is.
just, if you open up Prime and then you go to play it, it gives you the option of, watch the Next Gen Stats broadcast or watch the regular broadcast, and I just was checking out the Next Gen broadcast earlier in the year, and I thought it was pretty cool to watch, just because of think of it like Madden. Well, no, it's not really like that, but they just highlight players, put their names underneath them. The routes that the wide receivers run, sometimes they leave the trail behind them. Yeah, so it's pretty cool to watch. If you watch tons of football, it's something different, and if you like fantasy football, it's great if you got players in the game. But
It's probably kind of like, I'm assuming, like the Apple TV broadcasts for baseball in a way, where they have
a lot of those.
Well, no, what I'm saying is for their, like, they'll have, like, maybe not quite stats in this sense, but they'll have, like, if there's, like, runners on second and third, they'll have, like, different percentages of, like, what will happen if X happens type thing. Like,
Yeah,
stuff
which I
like
think that works great for baseball.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's just fun to see some of these different companies now that have these rights to broadcast NFL games trying to do things a little different. But the main broadcasts are all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And there was an incredible article in the New York Times this past week that went behind the scenes of a Sunday night football game. Like, they showed everything that happens, long article, and just the amount of work that goes into those and the amount of people and equipment and coordination that goes into one single Sunday night football game is astronomical.
No, I mean, and, the thing about it, too, is I didn't see that article. I'm going to have to look. Did they talk about, too, how it's just like you might be going from, let's see, where were they last weekend? That's bad. I can't remember.
Our
Lambeau. So
Field.
they're going from Green Bay to Dallas, I guess, isn't super egregious, I guess, this week. But in theory,
The way they're moving all that equipment,
Right.
they're putting it in the back
Right.
of these semis, and they're driving and setting it up and breaking it down. But it went beyond just the technical aspects of it. It went behind the prep that there's a studio show, there's a sideline reporter, there's Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth.
now there's a guy.
There's the official, that they go to,
Right.
and there's so many cameramen and sponsor integration, and it's unbelievable how they pull that off every week. And that will be the same for Monday Night Football and all these primetime broadcasts, which are much more in depth and highly produced than a regular Sunday afternoon game. But speaking of Sunday Night Football, we didn't even talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys. Eagles plus 3.5, over under 51.5. Offensively, the Cowboys are the second best offense in the league, going against the number 20 defense in Philly. And on the other side of the ball, the Eagles are the fifth best offense, going against the 15th ranked defense. Seems to me like over 51.5 would be a good play, but I just can't bring myself to do it in a divisional game. That's a lot of points, even though they played on November 5th and they scored 51 points.
Yeah.
But I do like the Eagles 3.5, and I do kind of like the over. But I think you got two of the better teams. The line got skewed by the Eagles losing last week, but it's a divisional game, and 3.5 points against two teams at the top of the division, two teams that are Super Bowl contenders, seems like a lot of points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I was talking yesterday about that a little bit, and I actually feel like it's going to be a shootout. Like,
I think it is too.
51.5 is a lot, but I don't know. If there's one thing the Dallas defense also shows, the fact that they're also very boomer bust as well, still, as they have been the past, I don't know how many years. Yeah, it's one of those things, though, where in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, of course, so that means the game is probably going to end up like 10-3, like something dumb like that, right? But
Well, that's the problem with going with a 51.5 point. Like, you can lose that bet in the first quarter. Because to get 51.5 points in the NFL, like you see it in college all the time,
it's like every possession.
You need 6 touchdowns minimum, right, in the game. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But it could easily happen in this game. But I don't have enough confidence to bet that many points.
You know what? I'm going to take the Cowboys in this game. Minus 3.5. Last week, I chose the 49ers. I was at plus 3.5.
Yeah.
That worked out well. I don't know. I mean, I know the Eagles are a very good
You want to
team.
sub that in for one of your picks?
Yeah, that's
or
what I'm wondering here.
I-
Tack it on as a fourth? Like, what's going on?
You know what? We'll do it. We'll do a fourth
Who
pick.
you take?
Wow.
Oh, you're going to do a fourth
So give me
pick?
Cowboys minus 3.5. I feel like this game is going to be like 30.
I don't want to be that guy, but bullying works apparently. I think
I feel like this game's going to be like 31-23.
Wow. You're all in on the shootout.
Dallas at home.
I
Hey.
don't see the Eagles getting blown out by that much, even in Dallas. I just don't. I think
Micah Parsons, watch out.
Yeah, I'm with that's why I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't see either team really pulling away from the other one.
I think there's opportunity in the NFL to catch the lines that get distorted because of the previous week's game. So, you'll see whether it's the Eagles, losing last week, and now all of a sudden, let's say the Eagles pulled that game out and won. Do you think they would be 3.5 point underdogs this week at Dallas? No, I bet you they'd be a pick or one maybe. And all of a sudden, what is it about Dallas that this year you think will be different than every other year as they head down the stretch of the season and piss their season away?
I think it's probably only because Dak Prescott's probably playing the best football of his career, would you say? If you look at his numbers, he has almost identical numbers as Jalen Hurts.
I was over the other side of the ball. I mean, you got, he won't win it, but you have MVP candidate Micah Parsons, but that's about it. I mean, in terms of that.
The Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb connection's been literally unstoppable the last, 5 weeks?
Give or take.
Keep in mind, too, that what was the final score of that Seattle-Dallas game last week?
41-35.
I mean, they struggled a little bit with Seattle. That game was in Dallas, too, right? And that was with the bland interceptions.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop DK Metcalf, 3 touchdowns.
No, wait. Bland didn't have any interceptions last week, did he?
I think
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he
Did he?
did. I think he had 2.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like Trey Diggs for me. It's very boomer bust.
Either way, like I say, I just don't. I don't have confidence in the Cowboys, and I probably never will. It might be a bit of a personal bias, or it might be year after year seeing them have the roster that you think would be good enough to put them to the next level, and they can't ever get there. And this is a game that would put them to the next level. So, history serves any purpose or any indication, then they're not going to get it done.
Just thought about it. Imagine if they didn't lose to Arizona. This game, they would go in both teams, Eagles, Cowboys, 10-2. But now it's 10-2, 9-3. And you look back, how did they lose to Arizona?
Yeah.
Crazy. This league is crazy.
It is crazy, and that's why you can't be too confident with any bets because anything can happen. These are all professionals.
How about this? The Cowboys are 6-0 at home this year, 3-3 on the road.
And they've decimated the over in their last 4 home games. Like, it hasn't even been close. That's what led me to think if the over-under was 46.5, I would take the over. 51.5 is a lot. And they may blow right by it. They might, it might be the biggest shootout ever. But I would think that the Eagles' game plan is going to be focus on winning the time of possession battle. And so I don't think they're going to want to totally air it out. I think they're going to want to keep that Cowboys offense off the field. And I just think they'll try to make it a little more of a slog. It'll be tough to get to 51.5. But again, I'm not betting it. I don't know. But to me, that's the most interesting game of the week in the NFL. And none of us had picked it or talked about it. The second most interesting game would be the Bills-Chiefs. Nick Bolton might be back for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco didn't practice today, so that's an interesting
My
storyline
fantasy
there.
team, no.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling very, very confident with the Bills going to beat the Chiefs this weekend, but watch, my confidence will.
I'm with you. I got the Bills in that one.
It's probably not good. We're 3 for 3 then.
It's just, you like the Chiefs?
No, I like the Bills too. Like
Look, this is the chance for the Bills to get right.
Yeah.
Huge momentum boost.
And Josh, who's better than Josh Allen in the NFL right now? Is Patrick Mahomes better? Because he hasn't been showing it.
I think Josh Allen makes more bigger plays than Patrick Mahomes does. At least, like the crazy on the run, tough plays.
Yep.
Jumping over people, trucking linebackers. You don't see that from Mahomes. You see him run the ball, but he doesn't try to take on a linebacker or jump over.
Can I interest anybody in Gardner Minshew?
He likes to get physical at times. I don't know. I don't trust the Colts.
No, I don't either.
But I do. I also like the over in that Chiefs game because I don't think the Bills. I think as bad as the Chiefs' offense is, I think the Bills' defense is battered and hasn't been great. And I think you might see a bit of a shootout in Kansas City.
Definitely would be fun.
A little double cowboy action then for shootouts.
What about Vikings Raiders?
So that was a toss-up game for me, but I ended up leaning Vikings in my outright picks that I do. I see, but I'm with you. You're making that face, Kyle, but I'm with you. Like
The Josh Dobbs stuff is so over. I remember talking.
Jefferson's back though. They can just throw it up to him.
I remember talking to you about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You and Josh were telling me the Vikings are definitely going to be in. I don't know about that. Give me Raiders +3 at home.
I like the Vikings, but it's not a game I'm going to bet.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I do like the Vikings. Jefferson's back. Max Crosby's out for the Raiders. But again, not going to go anywhere with that game.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple. We didn't spend a ton of time on, but I'm like with you, Jim. Like I didn't. Obviously, it's not one of my picks, but like Denver, I'm with you too. Like I don't understand why they're a dog against the Chargers. Like, what did the Chargers do against New England last Sunday, in my mind, to deserve being a favorite against Denver? Like I don't get it. Like
I think that people still aren't over the fact that that terrible start to the season the Broncos had. Took Sean Payton a little time to get acclimated, and Russell Wilson has been playing great. And I don't understand it either, other than people don't want. They think the Broncos have been squeaking by, but they've won what, 5 of their last 6?
Yeah.
And now they got the Chargers coming in who've just been terrible. And then sometimes you just got to look at the coaching, you know. Sean Payton, who's the Chargers coach?
Brandon Staley.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Like he took that team that was a playoff team last year, and they haven't been hurt by injuries or anything.
Not this year, not
Yeah,
really.
but they're just terrible. Why? Must be coaching.
What do you guys think about the Jacksonville Cleveland over under at 30.5?
Yeah.
That's other than the 30 tonight. That's what the lowest. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, Jets Texans 33.5.
Yeah, I'd lead under.
I'm leaning under as well with Jim, I think.
Christian
Yeah,
Kirk's
not
out too,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big loss to that team. But, you know, they still got Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne. Like I say, I think the Jags will win that game. But wasn't it kind of funny that when Trevor Lawrence got hurt last week, they didn't cart him off?
Yeah, I
Walked
noticed that
off
too.
like
My dad. So I was watching the game with my dad, and he brought that up too. It's like he was freaking out. Like, how do they not bring out the cart for the quarterback
for their
Like,
franchise.
Yeah, like
And he was hurt.
yeah.
It was a type of injury that players from the other team were like upset.
Yeah.
But amazingly, he might even play this week. Probably not, but
No.
he's week to week.
Yeah. They would be. I know we're again not to get off topic from the main stuff, but they would be ludicrous to play him this week. In the actuality of gameplay, like if they were to play him, that's like a suicide.
Well,
Season suicide.
another reason I like the Jags is like the Cleveland defense isn't the same with when Myles Garrett isn't 100%, and he didn't even touch the quarterback last week. He's obviously not playing at 100% like he was early in the year, and I think that's a huge impact too. And Joe Flacco, Dorian Thompson, whatever. How old is Joe Flacco?
30, is he 8 or 9?
Well, that's
Someone like that.
not too bad.
38.
Bang. I'm good.
He'll be 39 in January.
Kyle, where do you go to college? Without looking at it.
I know
It
where.
doesn't show me.
Delaware.
Delaware. Yep. Future CUSA members.
Blue Hens.
The Blue Hens, yep. Future CUSA members. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's Jacksonville's defense too is pretty good. So like in terms of the over/under aspect of it, I think that's definitely an under.
They're both good defensive teams with backup quarterbacks.
And the Jaguars have the other Josh Allen, maybe the better Josh Allen.
Defensive Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I really have come around to appreciate what Josh Allen's done this season, even though they've been losing. I mean, it's like they're losing in spite of Josh Allen.
Yeah. Kyle knew what I was doing on that one at least.
Yeah, I heard you. The better Josh Allen.
If I was Josh Allen for the Jacksonville Jags, I'd change my name. I'd be called Joshua Allen.
I think he initially was out of college. I could be wrong, but whatever. He wears a pretty good number. I like 41.
Let me give you a prediction on the way out.
Have at it.
Jacksonville does not win their division. They're a game up on Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Houston. I think Houston wins the division because of their upcoming schedule. They play the Titans twice and the Browns, which obviously the Browns could beat them. But I don't know. I just think Houston wins AFC South and Jacksonville is a wild card team.
How about that?
Especially because of the Lawrence injury. That's what changes everything for
Hank
me.
Dell injury too, though, for Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beauty of it remains to be seen for the rest of the year.
That's why they play the games.
Hell yeah.
Except for college football, where they don't even need to play the games. They just decide who the best teams are.
Where the games are made up and the points don't matter.
Right.
So that will do it then here for us for this week. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. I recommend hopping on over to the TikTok. Check out FL1 Sports. Check out-
Syracuse, Georgetown this weekend.
Yes, that's true.
Saturday.
Morning
Can't bet
game.
it as a New York State
No, you cannot.
resident, but it's the game of the weekend for me.
Yeah. Who do you got then?
What's the line?
I don't have no
I
idea.
can never even see Syracuse lines
Yeah,
because
me either.
they don't list them, but
Right.
I would imagine that Syracuse has got to be 6-point favorites.
Give or take, yeah.
But I just hope for a win in that game.
Is it bad that I'm at the point where, despite hating them, I love seeing them because I just miss them so much?
Georgetown?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not the same when we play them now either. They'll have lots of memorable replays of over
Right.
the years, but it's all crap. All college sports is crap. No, don't let it fool you.
Oof.
It is.
I mean, I don't maybe disagree in some regard, but
Syracuse UConn, Syracuse Villanova, Syracuse Georgetown, Syracuse St. John, Syracuse Seton Hall, Syracuse Providence. Those were all games that I would look forward to 2 days before they would start. I would get so excited, and I just don't care about Syracuse NC State, Syracuse Georgia Tech, Syracuse Clemson, Syracuse Florida State. Boring, stupid, doesn't mean anything. And we, like, people wonder, like, geez, why is Syracuse not what they used to be? It's because we're in a Southern Conference and we're an afterthought. Nobody gives a crap in the ACC offices about Syracuse. And so, yeah, college sports is stupid. And now the Pac-10 isn't even going to exist. Like, it's like, how stupid is that? How stupid is it all? And then an undefeated team doesn't get a chance to play for a national championship, even though they have a playoff now. Like, back in the 1980s and 90s, they would just award a national champ. They would say, oh, geez, who's going to be playing in the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl? Like, they would get one game would be like the de facto national championship game. But and now, 30 years later, we still can't get it right. And it's all stupid. It's all about money. That's why John Rahm is going to the Live, despite the fact that they behead people over there. It's all crap. It's all about the money, not about amateur athletics or what's best regional. Like, it used to be regional aspect of college sports. That doesn't exist anymore. So, Rutgers can have fun when they got to spend their girls' field hockey team to USC to play a Tuesday field hockey game. Like, you think anybody cares about that?
yeah, it is interesting. I did
Don't
see.
like it. All that because we started talking about Syracuse Georgetown.
Yeah, look at all the hate bubble up because of that. I love it.
One thought quick.
Sure.
Make sure to get your bets in for the World Championship Darts Tournament.
Oh, Jesus.
It starts a week from tomorrow night.
Only available on
being held?
DraftKings.
I don't know. It just popped up on.
It's only available on DraftKings. I will cut that off at the pass. DraftKings is the only place I've seen it
How
offered.
many people actually do go and bet that? It has to be
Oh, I bet there's
very
people.
rare.
There's people. If there's a competition and a line on it, people are betting it.
It's got to be very rare.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dart League players around here. Stanton Automatics Dart League.
About to say, I mean, they
Some
still.
of these names, how
Well,
would
let's
you
say
know
there
them?
still is a pretty big tournament over at what's the?
Alien.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say whatever
Whatever
it's
it's
called now. Yeah.
New York State Dart Tournament.
Yeah.
Soft tip, though. This betting stuff.
Hard-
Steel tip.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyle, if there's a line for it, people are betting it. Trust me on that.
Maybe I'll just throw my money away on that.
Table
See what
tennis.
Table tennis, yeah.
happens. Cycling. It says right here. Cricket.
Cornhole.
Yeah. Japanese B League basketball.
You name it.
It's all out there. So, all right. Like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in, liking, and subscribing. TikTok, FL1 Sports. Also, I recommend for this weekend especially, but anytime. Finger Lakes are normal on fingerlakes1.com on TikTok.
Yep.
Jim, you've been killing it this week with those interviews, if I do say so myself.
Wonderful Life interviews, yeah.
Yep. So,
Good ones.
yeah, it's fantastic stuff all the way around. So, we'll catch everybody again on Thursday. Good luck, everybody.